Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? Today, I'm going to react to 50 fun and interesting facts about Europe. Originally, I was going to do a video of just 10 facts. No! I'm not going to be lazy. 50 facts from the Geography Bible. Check them out, link down below. I'm ready. I'm strapped in. 50 facts. Let's see if I know even one of them. Hopefully.
Europe is a continent located entirely in the northern and eastern hemisphere. It is a continent of snow, sun, sea, castles and funny accents. It is rich in culture and history. So in this video we've created a list of 50 fun facts about this continent.
Alright,
some interesting, some random and some completely bizarre. Let us know in the comments which ones you already knew and which ones surprised you, because my name's Sam and you're watching the Geography Bible.
I'm sorry, I have to say I find it funny. He keeps saying because, but whatever he said before that is like, that's not why you're saying that. He says, because my name's Sam. Because my name's Sam? That's not why we're doing this. We're doing this because it's fun. Not because your name's Sam, but okay, you know.
Which ones you already knew? One surprised you, because my name's Sam and you're watching the Geography Bible.
Shout out to Sam.
Number 1. Moscow, Istanbul and London are the 3 most populated cities in Europe by
Moscow. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I don't associate Russia with Europe too much. Apart from bombing it. I really don't associate it as being a European country, but I know it is. It's also like an Asian country. Whatever, I don't know.
By urban area, with 70.
So that makes sense. I mean, if you had asked me what the biggest European country was, I probably wouldn't have even thought of Moscow, because I don't think of it as being European, but it is what it is. That's just because of me and my, you know, that's a me problem. Istanbul, not Constantinople. No, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
15.7, 15.3 and 11.2 million respectively. By city limits population, however, Istanbul is the most populated, followed by Moscow and then London, with 15.3, 12.5 and 9 respectively. Number 2.
Okay.
The tallest building in Europe is in St. Petersburg in Russia, soaring into the sky like a glass shard. The Lakhta Center is a whopping 460 meters in height.
You know, I will say I know nothing about Russia. Like, I've never even seen a photo of this building, but it is pretty impressive.
There are 87 stories in total. For reference, it is not far off half the size of the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Number 3, English is the most
Half as tall? Oh my gosh.
spoken language on the continent, with 51% of the population being able to speak it as a first or second language. German comes in second at 32%.
Oh, interesting. German is in second. That's actually trippy to me. I don't know why. 32% of Europeans can speak German, and we're including Russians? Wow. Wow. Impressive.
And then French third at 26%. Number 4.
I guess I can't think of any other language. Like, it would either be... yeah, I guess German, that makes sense. Now that I am thinking more and more about it, but yeah, it's interesting.
Russia is the most populated country in Europe, as more than half of Russia's population is found in its European section, around 110 million in total. However, as mentioned earlier, Russia of course spans across Europe and Asia, which is called Eurasia. For the country with the highest population that is purely in Europe, it will be Germany at just under 84 million. Number 4.
Germany has the highest population in Europe. Just another fact I should have known. I knew that Germany had about 80 million people. I didn't know that was the most in Europe.
5. The geographical center point of Europe is a village named...
Well, okay, apart from Russia. I need to stop. I keep, you know, I'm still doing it. Like, okay, Russia is in Europe.
named Pernuskes in Lithuania, located roughly 26 kilometers from its capital, Vilnius. Number 6. Europe is the second smallest continent in size at just over 10 million kilometers squared.
The second smallest continent in size. I guess I don't know where the line is exactly drawn between Europe and Asia. So what's the smallest? Is Australia? Australia might not be smaller.
Making it just
Wait, so
larger than the United States, but just a third of the size of
a
the
little bit bigger than Australia. Got it.
continent of Africa. Number 7. Despite the
Interesting. I want to look at this chart just for a moment. Asia. Asia is huge. Asia is huge. Huge. I really don't have an appreciation for how big Asia is. Like, oh my God, it's 4 times bigger than Europe. You know, it's Europe, Australia, and South America combined. North America and South America combined is smaller than Asia.
just a third of the size of the continent of Africa. Number 7. Despite the continent being the second smallest by area, it has the third largest population, with around 748 million people. Number 8. Europe is entirely in the northern.
So there's the actual line. Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, now I can see. But see, Australia, I mean, it actually is pretty close. Australia and Europe. North America, I mean, Greenland adds a ton to North America, huh? And Canada, of course.
Hemisphere, and most of the continent's landmass is in the eastern hemisphere. This is quite ironic, as the continent, along with America, is often referred to as the West. Number 9. North Cape is the most northern point on the European landmass. Punta de Tarifa in Spain is the most southern point. Cabo da Roco in Portugal is the most western point. And finally, the most eastern point is actually undecided, and is different depending on your definition of European borders. It lies somewhere in the Ural watershed. Number 10. European mammal
So no one even agrees on where the border is. No wonder I have no idea.
fauna consists of 270 species, 78 of them endemic to Europe. 15% of them are threatened with extinction, and 27% have been identified as declining. Number 11. The most
I
expensive
do feel like the wildlife in Europe is something I don't appreciate. I need to know more about.
house in Europe, and in fact the world, is Buckingham Palace, valued at just under $3 billion. It comprises of 775 rooms, 78 bathrooms, 92 offices, and 19 staterooms. Number
3
12.
billion.
At 19.5 million, London was the most visited city in Europe in 2019, pre-pandemic, making it the third most visited city in the world, behind Hong Kong and Bangkok.
Hong Kong's the most visited city in the world, huh? And then Bangkok? That's the type of fact that just kind of blows my mind. I would have never guessed Bangkok was more popular than London.
And Bangkok. Number 13. The 3 largest countries in Europe are Russia, Ukraine, and France. The part of Russia.
Hold on, what?
The 3 largest countries in Europe are Russia, Ukraine, and France.
Why is France much bigger than I thought? France is bigger than, like, Poland? France is bigger than Norway? I don't know why. I mean, maybe this sounds stupid to you guys, and I apologize, but in my mind, I'm like, France is pretty small. Like, relatively kind of small. I mean, I can see on the map here, like, okay, I'm wrong. But I'm just telling you, in my brain, in my American brain, France is smaller than Sweden, Norway, Finland.
The part of Russia that is found in Europe is bigger than any other country on the continent. Number 14. The smallest country in Europe, and in fact the world, is the Vatican City. It is the smallest both by land area and population.
Kind of a cop-out in my opinion.
Number 15. Norway has 83,000 kilometers of coastline, the longest coastline in Europe and the second longest in the world, only behind Canada. Number 16.
Because it's so jagged. Huh.
There are 24 official languages in Europe, but more like 200 languages that are actually spoken around the continent.
200?
Number 17.
There's more languages than countries
In
by a long shot.
2019, 7 of the top 10 most visited tourist attractions in the world were in Europe, the most visited being the Colosseum in Rome at 7.4 million visitors. Number 18. Liechtenstein, the 4th smallest country in Europe, does not have an
How did he pronounce that? Because I call it Liechtenstein.
Number 18. Liechtenstein,
Liechtenstein.
the 4th smallest country in Europe, does not have an airport. It is also a double landlocked country, meaning it's landlocked and the countries surrounding it are also landlocked. Number 19. Although Europe has just over 10% of the world's population, it is responsible for a quarter of the world's GDP, roughly 23.5 trillion US dollars. If Europe was a single
Not bad.
country, this would mean they'd have the highest GDP in the world, placing them only slightly ahead of the United States.
Interesting.
Have the highest GDP in the world, placing them only slightly ahead of the United States. Number 20. Again, if Europe was a single country, it would be the 3rd most populated in the world, behind
I was going to say, what would the population be?
China and India. Remarkably, it would have roughly half of the population of both of these countries. Number 21. Now, this one really did take me by surprise. Kazakhstan is partially in Europe. It is a transcontinental country that sits nicely in Central Asia, but as it's so large, it stretches across to Eastern Europe.
Okay, that's trippy to me. Kazakhstan is in Europe.
Where around 10% of its population live. Number 22. There is a rainforest in Europe. Yes, Europe's climate allows for rainforests. One of the last remaining is Perekica in Bosnia. The 3,500-acre forest is a reserve of UNESCO's World Heritage List. Number 23. 10 villages
Shout out Bosniaks out there. It's beautiful.
in Scandinavia have the shortest city or town names in Europe, just one letter long. The city name, which means small brook or river in all Scandinavian languages, is found 9 times through the countries. Number 24. There are more bicycles than people in the Netherlands.
So there's more guns than people in America, and there's more bicycles than people in the Netherlands. Interesting. And sum up some of the culture just by those 2 facts, I think. If you had to like an alien, you had to tell them, which country, tell them about the different countries. Just tell them that.
Cycling is so popular in the Netherlands
Gypsy King.
that 84% of all Dutch own at least one bicycle. With 22.3 million bicycles in the country for its 17 million residents, bike traffic and congestion is actually becoming a problem. Number 25. Monaco has the highest life
Bicycles must be cheap as dirt there. You got more bikes than people.
expectancy not just in Europe, but the entire world. Maybe it's because of Monaco's beautiful sun-drenched location along the French Riviera. Maybe it's because of the popularity of the Mediterranean diet, found to be one of the healthiest in the world. In any case, the people of Monaco live on average
It is kind of a trend now to do the Mediterranean diet here in America. I don't know exactly what that is. I think it's like mostly organic stuff. But yeah, that's a trend. That's definitely a trend. And that's also something, the doctors will say, I don't know for what, but if you're unhealthy, will be, and for a certain kind of reason, they'll say do the Mediterranean diet. Anyway, I feel like I can barely speak.
to be 89.4 years, the highest not
Wait, what?
the people of Monaco live on average to be
What?
89.4 years.
They do? Monaco? I mean, I'm looking this up just because that's so shocking. Oh my god. We're not even close over here in America. We're not even close. Wow. Another 15 years?
The highest not just in Europe, but the entire world.
I thought Japan was the highest. Wow. Shout out Monaco. What's Japan's? 84.
Number 26.
That's not even that close to 89.
Now, which company do you think has the highest value in Europe? It must be one of
The highest value in Europe. Oh boy. The highest value in Europe. God. I feel like I should know this. The highest value in Europe. Highest value country in Europe. I don't know. I don't know. Volkswagen? That's probably not right. It's probably got something to do with energy.
of Germany's car companies like Volkswagen, right? Nope, it's LVMH, or Louis Vuitton as it's more commonly known.
Louis Vuitton.
It is the most valuable company on the continent, at a market cap of around 350 billion US dollars. LVMH controls around 60 subsidiaries that each manage a small
Louis Vuitton is the most... I cannot believe that. That is mind-blowing. I guess what's so mind-blowing about that is that almost every other gigantic market cap company is a gigantic market cap because of basically one or two things. It's either a technology company that's revolutionized the world, Google, Amazon, blah, 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 or an energy company or a bank. Louis Vuitton is just a brand. That's amazing.
Small number of prestigious brands. Number 27. Now, Europe isn't really known for its tall skyscrapers. It is more of a continent filled with ruins and castles. The city in Europe with the most skyscrapers belongs to Moscow at 65, placing them 29th highest in the world. Number 28. Heathrow Airport in London is the busiest airport on the continent. Pre-pandemic in 2019, nearly 81 million passengers passed through. However, Heathrow was dethroned in 2020 and 2021 by Istanbul Airport, which actually opened in 2019. Number 29. Iceland is the least densely populated country in Europe, at just 3 people per kilometers squared. However, the majority of the
3 people per kilometer. That would be something else to live there.
in Europe, at just 3 people per
It's probably peaceful.
kilometers squared. However, the majority of the country live in its capital, Reykjavik, which has a population density of 480 people per kilometer squared. Number 30. According to Visual Capitalist's estimations, London is the city with the highest GDP in Europe, at around 1 trillion US dollars, placing them 5th in the world and
Behind Tokyo's number 1. Man, I am learning a lot in this video. I didn't know Tokyo was number 1 GDP city. That's awesome. And honestly, I would have thought Hong Kong would be up here, maybe even higher than LA. But it's not even there. Where's Hong Kong? I can't find where this list is exactly. I'm finding all sorts of different lists, guys. I officially give up.
GDP in Europe at around 1 trillion US dollars, placing them 5th in the world and just above Paris. Number 31.
Damn, Paris is a little bit more of an economic powerhouse than I realized. I knew London was.
Them 5th in the world and just above Paris. Number 31. Europe is...
I guess I would have thought like Frankfurt Or Berlin would have been higher than Paris.
home to the deadliest and longest war in recorded history. World War II at around 80 million deaths, and Reconquista at around 781 years. The Reconquista was a period in the history of the Iberian Peninsula of about 780 years of war between Spanish Christians and Muslims. Number 32.
That's a long time.
On the 11th of August 2021, Sicily in Italy
They've been at war for over triple as long as America's been a country.
32. On the 11th of August 2021,
Actually, I didn't do the math on that. Don't do the math.
Christians and Muslims. Number 32. On the 11th of August 2021, Sicily in Italy recorded the highest ever temperature in Europe at 48.8 degrees Celsius.
Interesting. How hot is that? 48.8. It just didn't sound that hot. Well, maybe he's about to say.
Or 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
There
Number
you go.
33.
120. That's the hottest ever. That's pretty damn hot.
And on the other end of the
I
spectrum,
wonder what the hottest in USA is. Hottest temperature ever recorded in the USA. (134, 56 degrees Celsius in Death Valley, California. Wow.
the lowest temperature ever recorded in Europe was minus 58.1 degrees Celsius, or minus 72.6.
There's no way America's ever even come close to that. It's never even come close. What? Oh, Alaska. I forgot about Alaska. My bad, Alaska.
6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Negative 80. Negative 62.
In Russia. Number 34. According to the Economist Intelligent Unit ranking, Zurich is the most livable city in Europe and the 7th most livable in the world. Number 35. At around 75% in 2021, Norway is the country with the highest share of plug-in electric car sales in Europe. For reference, Iceland comes in second at 40.
That's crazy how far and away Norway is number one. It's not even close. That's pretty interesting, huh?
For reference, Iceland comes in second at 45%. Number 36. Just one of the world's 7 wonders of the world is found in Europe. The
Why exactly is that? I mean, I know obviously people there are very conscious of, you know, pollution and stuff, but there's got to be an economic reason, right? Like, is gas just exorbitantly expensive in Norway? This is US dollars per liter. It is really high up there, but still, that's not the full answer. Although Iceland is also, you know, number one and they're number two, so there's a correlation there. But then Sweden, gas is a lot cheaper, and it's number 3. So, but then Netherlands, interesting.
Comes in second at 45%. Number 36. Just one of the world's 7 wonders of the world is found in Europe. The Colosseum, located in Rome, Italy.
That's some bullcrap. You guys need some more wonders.
Likewise, just one of the world's 7 natural wonders is also located in Europe. And technically, it isn't even Europe. It's in space.
It's in space. What the hell does that mean?
It is the Northern Lights, or the Aurora Borealis. Number 37. The richest country on the continent when measuring GDP or economy
Didn't we already say London?
size goes to Germany at around
Oh, country. I don't know why I heard city.
4.2 trillion US dollars, placing them 4th in the world. Number 38. When it comes to GDP per capita, however, Liechtenstein is the
Liechtenstein. I would have thought it was Luxembourg. 180. Shout out Liechtensteinians.
richest in Europe.
Hopefully I have a unknown uncle who dies one day in Liechtenstein and leaves me his inheritance.
And in fact, the world. In 2020, the United Nations estimated this value to be around 180,000 US dollars. Number 39. The country with the most Nobel Prizes in Europe belongs to the UK at 138. It must be noted, however, that Frederick Sanger received this prestigious award twice for his work in chemistry. Number 40. The top 3 countries in the world with the most islands are all in Europe, and they are all in fact Nordic countries and neighbours. This is Sweden, Norway and Finland. They have 268,000.
What about Cyprus?
200.
268,000 islands?
39,000 and 179,000 islands each, respectively. Number 41.
Okay, that is on a different level than what I thought we were talking about.
At one.
Sorry guys, this video is going so long that the sun is setting. So I'm having to adjust my freaking lights here.
136, Germany has the most billionaires in Europe. Per 2 million people, there are roughly 3 billionaires.
Most billionaires in Europe are in Germany. Wow. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Put this in perspective, the US is the country with the most billionaires at 724 and
724.
3.9 billionaires per.
And if you work hard, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you might be the 725th.
2 million people. Number 42. Germany not only excels in wealth, it plays pretty good football too, or soccer depending on where you're from. With a total of 4 World Cup wins, the Germans have the equal most World Cup trophies in Europe, tying with Italy. However, Germany have 4 runners-up medals compared to Italy's 2. Number 43. Excluding Russia, Germany is the highest CO2 emitting country in Europe. Its CO2 emissions are estimated to be around 800 million.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I'm actually shocked by that with how much you guys care about. But then again, you guys are a big, powerhouse. Literally. So, it is what it is. I know you guys take a huge amount of care to emit as little as possible.
In tons.
And, I'm not, judging in any way.
Making them the 6th highest emitter in the world.
That would just be funny as me as an American judging. You emit that much, Germany?
For reference, the UK is the 17th.
Okay, that's the brownest river I've ever seen. The one outside, not too far from me, the Ohio River, is brown. This one, even browner. Sorry.
Highest emitter at around 370 million tons, so more than half. Number 44. At 3,790 kilometers, the Volga River is the longest river and the 16th longest in the world. Situated in Russia, it flows through central Russia to southern Russia and into the Caspian Sea. Number 45. Camp Nou, Barcelona FC's football or soccer stadium, is the highest capacity stadium in Europe.
That's remarkable.
At just
how many people fit there? 150,000?
Under 100,000. Although this stadium is unbelievably huge and impressive, it still does not feature in the top 10 in the world. Whoa. Number 46. Germans sure do love a museum. At 6,741, Germany has by far the most museums in Europe. The second most in the world, only.
What the heck? Why is America so high? I thought Germany has, obviously America's a bigger country. But still, even accounting for that, there's way more in America. I never would have thought that, seeing how many random ass museums are in Germany. They're so random. It'll be like the museum for 1963 bottle caps and gummy bears.
To the US, who have a mind-boggling 33,000. Number 47. At around 34%, Apple just beats Samsung at being the smartphone vendor with the highest market share across the European continent. The UK is the country with the highest market share of Apple users at 53%.
Wow.
48.
I'm an Apple user, but of course, Android has more phones. It's just by different manufacturers.
The euro is the official currency of 19 of the 27 member states of the European Union. It is classed as the second most important currency in the world, only behind the US dollar. Number 49. Spread across 52 acres and located in Poland, Malbork Castle is the largest castle in Europe
52 acres.
and, of course, the world.
That's a whole neighborhood.
It is also considered the largest brick structure ever built with human hands. And finally, number 50. Bulgaria is the
Wow, that's beautiful.
oldest country in Europe and the only country that has not changed its name since it was first established. Kosovo, on the other
I need to look up some Bulgaria stuff. That roundabout was stunning.
hand, is the youngest country in Europe. While Serbia and a handful of other countries such as Russia and China do not recognize Kosovo's independence, the International Court of Justice ruled that Kosovo is a sovereign nation in 2010. So there we have it, 50 fun facts about Europe. Did any of these catch you out or take you by surprise?
I learned a whole lot. A lot of those caught me by surprise. Half the time it was just stuff in the graphics that caught me by surprise. I believe Monaco's life expectancy has more to do with there being one of the countries with the highest average wealth in the world. Lol. P.S. I swear, when you hinted that the most valuable company would be surprising, I thought you would say it was Lego. Is Lego not an American company? I mean, hey, shout out to Lego if it's not an American company. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, and I admit that. You know what I mean? You gotta admit your faults, guys. Denmark. Denmark. Shout out Lego. To be frank, further, I would have actually maybe said Lego would be number one if I had realized it's in Denmark. Oh my gosh. Olkirk Christensen. Well done. That is a huge freaking hit over here in America, let me tell you that. Even with adults. I keep learning new stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.